Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for taking time out for date here. We'll be discussing about financial inclusion journey of India. India's financial inclusion journey has been recognized world over. We heard you yesterday saying that we are in talks with other countries on digital public infrastructure, and we're helping other countries establish that. So I want to begin with that. What is next for India in this journey now? What lies ahead?
Good morning, and let me first thank the organizers for having me here. It's one of those things where the Indian youth are revving to move forward with quite a lot of information and networking, which is what is going to give them an opportunity to showcase their talent. So an event like this is actually the need of the hour, and I'm happy the organizers with so many different partners have really understood the need and have come to, say, Delhi to establish this expo for 2 days. And I'm sure it will draw all those who are interested in this field, who have potential in this field, and who also want to benefit from the networking facility that this gives. So well done, organizers. 7 or 8 different countries have already signed MOUs to share our experience, our achievements, the technology that we have, and be able to share it with those countries which have signed the MOU, and we have many more of them coming. So opportunities are galore for fintech and fintech related, and for everything driven through AI. So sorry, I made an opening statement which was not part of the answer, but now go to the question.
Yeah, essentially what is next in the financial inclusion journey for India? While in terms of access, we've done very well, but in terms of usage, we still have some miles to cover. So what is next?
When you look at usage, fintech, the benefits going down to the common citizen, it is that each one should be able to get easy access to credit, should be able to be part of the financial networking, so that when there is a need for rating his credit scores, he should be in the loop already, small, big, medium size, whichever be, and also be therefore accessing without much of an effort, essentially through his phone, all available sources of credit management, and that is one of the biggest things that we are moving forward with by bringing in things like account aggregator, so that no one who's attached to a particular bank, because that's where they started their financial business, be lost out if there are better terms available with different banks. Simultaneously, you could hold these two. You're quite aware of that. And similarly, looking at digital ways in which he can access global markets. So if these have to be achieved, it's not going to be possible if we are saying, all right, we've given you an account, we've already given you a phone through which you can do your business, you have your QR code to sell your products, but that's not enough. He should have the other benefits, which are essentially financial related, which are credit, which is got to be available, seeking market, looking at digital ways of communicating with his transactions, payments, insurance. So there are so many different aspects of financial networking and benefiting from the services. These will be our priority areas to make sure that everyone, small or big, benefits from digitization at the same time in all these specific activities which are financial, technology related.
India's financial inclusion, one major aspect of it was government support to ensure that it remains low cost. Will this kind of support continue going ahead and there will be no slide back?
I don't want to predict what is going to come through in the next few budgets. But yes, the intention of the government is to keep that continuing, so that till such a time we are confident that the bulk of those who need to have this advantage given to them do get it. It is not a big deal to say there are so many others who have already utilized it. They don't need any assistance or support. But it is the bulk which has to get everything which we talk in terms of financial digital benefits which have to reach people.
You mentioned about the account aggregator platform. There's a lot of buzz about the potential that it can have. What is the thinking in the government? How do you see it sort of going forward?
Absolutely. In fact, I have a little peeve where, considering the time when account aggregator was introduced and the kind of awareness which the government has tried building around it, I still think that the movement on it is not as much as I would want to see. It can be even better, which means either the building of these awareness exercises are not really efficient, it's not adequate, or there has to be more simplifying of the technology for account aggregators. Banks have, on the whole, both private sector and public, you have reviewed it with me once, banks have taken up, they've all become part of or members of this account aggregator networking, and it has actually helped. But with the enthusiasm from the bank, which is needed, which has to be accentuated, I think it is only then will it reach every customer so that they actually can utilize this particular platform. And there I would like to take this opportunity to add one line more. Account aggregator is a pass-through. They don't sit on data. Once you, who wants the benefit of better banking facility, say yes, your details are passed through to that particular bank which has to receive. So initially there were some apprehensions that possibly account aggregators are going to sit over a data bank. No, they cannot hold data. They're just simply a pass-through, and neither therefore the beneficiary customer nor the bank can sit on it through the account aggregator. They will get the necessary, that customer's data on his giving consent, and they will deal with it only for the purposes of giving you the credit. So the purposes for which the data is shared to the bank and the purposes for which this beneficiary gives the information will be restricted for the purpose for which he is approaching them. And in between, the aggregator has no other role except for passing it through.
I'm glad you mentioned data protection, which actually has emerged as a huge concern with the growing, tech interface in the financial world. What kind of assurance can you provide to people and consumers in general on data protection?
Well, I think we've kept the customer, the consumer, the individual, the citizen at the center of data protection debates. So the government's policy or the government's approach in creating public platforms which are going to be used by the customer or the citizen or the individual who wants banking facility is top on the priority list. His data is completely protected. It cannot be misused. But at the same time, it shall not be so restrictive that the person will have to run between one pillar to the other post to seek facility. The moment you approve that you're willing to give it, yes, to that limited purpose, it will be shared without much hindrance. So on data protection, I can assure the Indian citizens that your data remains completely safe.
One aspect of India's financial inclusion, we've seen huge strides in credit growth, in transactions within the bank accounts. But when it comes to insurance, we still see a huge lag. What is in government's mind to sort of ensure or back growth in the insurance penetration?
You're very right in saying the penetration in insurance is not as much as we expect, or it can be better is the simple fact. And on that, I think there have been experiments by scheduled commercial banks as well. They tried promoting insurance and they're still trying to promote insurance. And banking, my personal view, there is banking staff who are doing this are also hard pressed for time to do their core business in insurance, core business in banking. But insurance companies will have to be a lot more smarter using technology, making sure like the way banks have banking correspondents, who we call bank mitra, like that they may have to employ people who can go in the field, like earlier days insurance agents. But that network today will have to be a lot more tech savvy, a lot more information sharing, rather than one man's word against my insurance requirements. So there is a need for insurance companies to become a lot more tech ready and through technology, but yet because insurance is such a sentimental matter, you still need a human interface, and therefore I would think insurance companies will have to adapt technology, bring in more personnel who can go to the field, and only then can we achieve greater and deeper and wider insurance coverage for Indian citizens.
Fintech models and the growing penetration has helped credit reach to last mile, and we've seen immense growth in that. But there's a growing concern, and we've seen different voices sort of also being expressed on the lending standards. There is a view that the lending standards may be slightly lax, and it could lead to a systemic risk going forward. What is your view on this?
Well, Deepshika, you're talking at a time when the Reserve Bank has only yesterday spoken about preventive steps,
yes,
preemptive steps, and alerting banks to be not too exuberant or flamboyant, did they say?
Exuberant.
Exuberant. And so the Reserve Bank of India is quite conscious of where the thin line actually lies. They are red lighting it now so that the NBFCs or small finance companies don't go too far in their enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is good, but sometimes it becomes a bit too far for people to digest. So as a measure of caution, the RBI has also alerted banks, alerted small finance banks, alerted NBFCs to be careful that they don't go too far, too soon, and face any downside risks later.